Hello, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Welcome to your tarot reading here at the Intuitive Teacup. Happy to have you all. Please come into this tarot reading with an open heart and an open mind, a desire to learn something or better yourself. Please take only what resonates for you and release the rest. Trust that your own intuition will separate what is meant for you and what is not. You are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. This is optional advice, guidance, and energy check-in. Let's go ahead and set the intention to get Scorpio, all placements for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, some helpful, clear, insightful messages wherever they may be on their spiritual path. Let's do it. All right, what's up, Scorpio? How you doing? Let's hop into it. We're doing kind of a wacky setup this time with oracle cards and stuff. It's Aquarius season, so I'm mixing it up. I'm doing something different. Venus in the middle, love it. All right. I just heard that song, Do You Believe in Magic? It's from like the 60s. I forget who does it, but y'all know the one I mean. All right, so bottom of the deck, Virgo, I analyze. So some of you might be too in your head about something. You may be replaying things and struggling to maybe take a decisive action on something. I think the more I do readings, Scorpio and Virgo energy are very similar in like sort of the need to get to the bottom of something. And for Virgo, sometimes it can translate as needing to show up perfect or needing to get it just right. And for Scorpio, I don't know if it's so much that energy, I don't know. There can be like some Libra energy going on there too of like the need to be perfect and not let... It's almost like this idea of not wanting people to see you struggle or not wanting to have people see you try and fail. So there may need to, I'm hearing the word like expose. There may be a situation where some of my Scorpios are put in a situation where I'm hearing like strike while the iron's hot, even though it's not as well thought out as you would like, or you're still getting comfortable with the idea of it. It just sort of feels like there's an opportunity that you're excited about, but it's like you're trying to approach it perfectly, or like, I don't know, like learn something very fast or very quickly, or be able to speak about it very intelligently. And there's something very important about sort of this raw, immature energy, or this, it's raw. It's like laced with heat and potential, like this Scorpio. It's like there's a need to strike while the iron's hot. Sorry, that's not coming out super clear to me, but there's something about don't worry about being perfect. Just show up and try. It will land well with the right people. I think you're still going to get some beautiful result will come from this. But yeah, it's like don't overthink it. That's really what I'm trying to say. Some of you're overthinking it too much. If it feels right, you need to let your intuition lead. As a water sign, that's always going to be very important for you guys. So coming up in the past, you have Pisces. So some watery energy, again, feeling a vibe, feeling an intuition. Sometimes Piscean energy can be a little bit like chaotic as well, too. There can be sort of a dismantling or like a free-floating energy where we don't necessarily have a tight grip on something. We don't necessarily have a great pulse on it. In terms of being grounded in reality or seeing a clear path forward, there is kind of I'm hearing smoke and mirrors. Maybe there's some illusion going on. Maybe there's fantasy. Maybe there's cloud nine, but also maybe it has to do with digging in deep to reach your highest potential, even though the facts and the figures aren't all there, or it might not make sense in terms of like the logistics of it. Again, there's a need to like kind of have faith. You know, Pisces is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is a planet of faith and belief. And so, yeah, it's leaning more into like I'm hearing hopeless romantic, but that's not what I was trying to say. I was going to say almost like, I'm wanting to use the word optimistic, but there's like it defines it more. I don't know if it's cautiously optimistic or hopeless romantic. I don't know. Something about that is coming through. Anyway, this may or may not have to do with a situation involving your money, your self-worth, or your love life. I mean, Venus is coming through here, which is the planet, the goddess, right? Most associated with love and connection, right? So then you have a lunar eclipse, so change. So I'm getting this metaphor that something else came into view and came into the perspective and eclipsed what you were looking at. So for some of you, you had a shift or a change in the feelings or the emotions that you were feeling for someone. I'm almost getting like the recipient, or this could go vice versa, Scorpio. You may have made a connection and then it seemed like, yeah, this is interesting, you guys. That whole thing of like strike while the iron's hot. I'm literally seeing like I'm seeing competitors pushing the other person out of the way. It's like you or someone, or I don't know, metaphorically, it's like you're both trying to get to the same prize. And it's almost like, okay, well, let me read up on this on the internet. Let me pull a book on the shelf and, see what I can read up on how to get ahead. And meanwhile, the other person is like sprinting towards the finish line. Something about overthinking is not serving you here. And I want to be very careful with how I phrase things, right? I don't know the full-on situation here, Scorpio. So I'm going to reiterate, you are accountable and responsible for all your actions and decisions, right? But I can only tell you what the cards are telling me, and hopefully that translates into your life. And, again, if it's your message, take it and run with it. If it's feeling strange or foreign, release it. Because you do need to practice good judgment in your own life, right? Never give up your power or agency to a tarot reader, a tarot card reading. But yeah, there's something about strike while the iron's hot. Don't get lost in the details. This is like the heart space. I'm doing it because it feels right. I'm doing it because it feels like I'm being called towards this opportunity, this person, this situation, this job. And with that, there's a need to release certain expectations or outcomes and sort of go where the universe is pulling you. With Piscean energy, there's a need to be in the flow. And again, tapping into sort of like your spirituality, but intuitive powers as a Scorpio. I mean, essentially where you're headed is Pluto, which something about a relationship in your life. Now, it doesn't have to be romantic, but it probably is, right? With Venus coming through, it's going through major, I'm hearing the word flux, influx, something maybe coming back to you or cycling through again. It's going through major transformation, and it's necessary. We have to kill off. We have to let something die off if it's not helping us, if it's hindering us in our path forward. It's like our one job here on earth in this lifetime anyway. It's like to grow and evolve as a spiritual being, right? Sometimes that's independently. Sometimes that involves, characters that come in and out of our life. But yeah, some sort of major transformative relationship is either on the brink or it's already in your life now, and you are feeling the impacts of the change. It's like I'm hearing the word tidal wave, like the impacts, the waves, the whatever that it's causing. I'm getting this metaphor of like throwing something very heavy into a body of water and it makes a huge splash. And so something about what's left, I don't know how to say this. Like, it's not as deep because we've had to let go of some of the excess water. So this may have to do with a purging or a releasing of some sort of long-held emotions. I almost think, too, for some of my Scorpios, you are fixated on a certain person and then something else comes into sight, or some other opportunity comes into your sights and it completely eclipses the other so that you completely shift focus. Something that you thought you couldn't live without, all of a sudden a new option presents and you're like, this one. It's and like the other one, it's like you don't even see it anymore. It's not that it's not there, it's that you've changed your mind. And that's what this could be too, is like over analyzing, like, why don't I want that? I had built my life around this job opportunity or this person or this or that, and now something else has come in and like, why? It's like, why do I feel this way? But again, like there's something about it is like overthinking or overanalyzing or striving for perfection when what you have in front of you is actually really good. So like, negative side of Virgo energy, it's like, why are you nitpicking it? Why are you tearing it apart and being like, no, I don't like this, or like criticisms that aren't super helpful because you're being asked to embrace some sort of narrative or storyline just to see what it is, like explore it, discover it. And again, something about loosening your grip or expectations, you have to be in the flow of it. Because here's the thing, you already know this because this has already happened in theory. You can change your mind. You can always say no if you decide you don't like it. So coming up in the future, you have Uranus energy. So, I mean, this to me is talking a lot about Aquarius season, which we're in currently, or at least when I'm recording this video. Again, something about card number 9 that makes me think of the Hermit. I think messages are coming through for you, possibly unexpectedly. Some of you are breaking away from something that really held your focus, but it's because there's like a new windfall, and maybe it has to do with money, but again, maybe there's an influx of new people in your life. If you've joined a new job or a new community, a new group, a new neighborhood, you're meeting people, I'm hearing diverse people, at a faster rate than you were before. So there's an influx of a lot more energy and presence in your life of I would say what could be very strong connections, and something about these connections aid or assist you in releasing things that you were holding on to that you didn't need anymore. I don't want to say it replaces them, because I think that phrase doesn't feel right to me. It's not so much that it replaces them, but it gets you to see something from a different perspective. It's almost hangman energy with Neptune is, like seeing it inverted or seeing it from the other person's perspective, hearing something repeated back to you where when you said it, it makes sense, but when you hear it from someone else, you're like, ooh, that does kind of go down weird. There is something about going back over the data or the details, particularly of a conversation that already transpired. With Uranus energy too, there's a lot of psychic downloads happening for you right now. And ultimately, like Uranus is the planet of change. It is the planet of innovation and genius, right? And most associated with Aquarius. It's also a lot to do about thinking outside the box, taking the road less traveled, trying something that maybe you haven't tried before. And with that, it's a very futuristic sign. It's frequently ahead of its time. So that's going to resonate for some of you in terms of where you want to go in your career path. Or again, maybe in relationships, maybe you quite literally have some Aquarian energy around you that's, propositioning you with Venus energy, that sort of thing. Sexy body. I'm hearing sexy body. There's like physical attraction to someone in your energy right now. It might be another Scorpio too, for that matter. And the letter H might be of significance, as in, I don't know, Harry, Henry, Hannah. The letter H, I don't know what that is, but the letter H might be significant for some of you. All right, then let's see here. What you need to release. Interesting. You have another card of the analysis. This is the Gemini card, right? It's I think. So both Virgo and Gemini are ruled by Mercury. Mercury is the planet of logical, rational thought. It's the planet of communication, information. With Virgo, it's mutable, right? So it's a dispersing and a releasing, a more flexible, if you will, version of Mercury. Whereas and I mean, I guess it is with Gemini too. Okay, I'm rambling. Sorry, I'm giving you like an astrology lesson here. Anyway, what you're being asked to release is over analyzing things or overthinking things. There may be a need to declutter your mind. With that, you may need to declutter your space, declutter your house, declutter your energy. Some of you have a writing project that it's just not going anywhere. And the universe isn't saying, no, you can't write that book. No, you can't do that article. No, you can't give that speech. But they may be saying to you, you might be best served to put that on the back burner right now, because what's going on with you right now is more of a creative flow. It's not necessarily like hashtag facts and reality. There's something that a little bit more dreamlike. I mean, you have a lot of Pisces, Scorpio energy coming through here. And again, moving away from what you consider the truth. This is a weird message, Scorpio, but it's like there's genius and insights that come from listening to your intuition, and that's a better guidance system for you right now than going by the book or going by the quote unquote tradition or the way you've been taught, the way you were told to do something. With Uranus, it's like you need to shake it up and try something different, because that's going to help you solve your problem or dilemma in some capacity. So then if you're being asked to release the mind stuff, getting too up in your head about it, I mean, this kind of feels like, why aren't you moving towards love? That's sort of what this feels like. Some of you may quite literally need to release a Gemini, maybe a Virgo. It doesn't have to be that. But the Mercury stuff isn't helping you right now. So why Pluto? Why are we being asked to go into Pluto energy? Something to do with justice, something to do with a Libra, long-term contracts, partnership, commitment, marriage, legalities, signing some sort of, documentation, or I'm hearing the word reinvention. I'm not sure what that's about. Yeah, interesting. There's that Libra card. Again, negotiations, contract, and Libra is a sign ruled by Venus. So yes, it has to do with love, but it also has to do with connecting and linking and relationships, which, we're in air sign energy right now with Aquarius. So there is that theme coming up about exploring communities, exploring groups, learning about yourself through hearing it from the mouth of other people. I'm not even sure what I just said there, but that was very much like channeled. That just came out. So hopefully that lands with one or two of you. There may be a tremendous amount of time being put into thinking about children right now, starting a family, thinking about your own childhood, thinking about nieces, nephews, grandchildren, whatever. There's a lot of thought being put on children, but also maybe pushing pause on that too. Major conversations that transform a relationship or a situation. Some of you may have had agitation with your boss or your superior, and to me, this is like we're opening up the channels of communication to be very honest and truthful, but we're coming at it in a more nurturing, compassionate way, rather than just like cutting you off at the pass or head on the chopping block. That's really not the Queen of Swords. She's blunt, she'll speak the truth, but it's cushioned with that Venus energy of like, I really do care about you. Like, your opinion does matter to me, but you also need to be open to receiving what I have to say, and like my opinion matters too. Like, it's the scales, it's balanced, it's 50-50. Yeah, there's an important conversation coming in for you Scorpios that's going to help illuminate a lot of things. It's going to set you back on track. You're going to get your Mercury, for some of you it's like a writing project or a book deal or something to do with like speaking, writing, recording, I don't know, like that's going to get back on track, but there's a conversation that needs to happen first. with someone who you view in very high regard, or you see them having a huge impact on your life or your potential for money. Again, this could be a boss figure. This could also be a mother figure, the idea of parent-child conversations, or someone you view as quite nurturing, a lovely, beautiful energy or presence in your life. Again, it kind of feels like it could be romantic, but yeah, like there's something that's a little bit haywire right now. So I think there's a necessary pause or delay to rethink our strategy. And then, yeah, look, you guys are going to come back together and break bread. Love it. Okay. New message for Scorpio. Sometimes I do these readings and I'm so in it that I'm like, what did I just say? Because then I'm trying to do that thing on YouTube where, like, full disclosure, Scorpio, I'm not even going to lie to you. You kind of have to have, like, the clickbait titles a little bit, which I was so morally against. But I'm like, you know what? Like, I want to grow this channel. So if it's a necessary evil, like doing that step of, like, I don't know, like my team is going to show up for me, the people who need to hear these messages. But like after I finish a reading, I'm like, okay, shit, like I got to think of what I'm going to call this reading. And like that came out, but like I have very little memory of it. So it'll be interesting to see what I end up calling this reading. I may have to look back and see what I said. Anyway, moving on. I'm sharing all my secrets with you, Scorpio, because I know you're a good secret keeper. All right, here we go. Other messages for Scorpio, something they need to hear, something I need to reiterate, connecting with maybe a new group of Scorpios. Interesting, Libra had that in the exact same card. This is about internal beauty versus external beauty and how your self-esteem greatly impacts the money you're making right now. And I think I've said that to you recently, Scorpio. It's come up in a lot of readings, and when I say that, I'm not necessarily owning that as my credo and belief in how things should be. I'm just saying those things kind of magically do correlate. Very frequently when we feel shitty about ourselves, we're at dead-end jobs that aren't paying us enough. Like we tend to gravitate towards that type of energy without necessarily realizing it consciously. Versus when we're vibing high and we're loving life and we're in a state of gratitude and appreciation, that's when all of a sudden your boss is like, hey, you're due for a raise. And you're like, oh, okay, cool. And the universe rewards you. So for some of you, there's something about the falling of a mask, the dropping of a mask. Like for some of you, it's like cleaning off the makeup. It's like showering and getting all the gunk out of your hair, or metaphorically off your body. It's like there's no need to perform anymore. You don't have to put on this false illusion of who you are. It's like the stripping away and it feels very Scorpio. It's like the shedding of the snakeskin, showing up and presenting who you are. That's enough. It always has been enough, but it's taken you time to see that. For some of you, your finances are going through a huge shift and a huge transformation for the better. And some of you, it has to do with opening your heart up to give and receive love. Again, there might be something with a Pisces, a Pisces, I almost said Scorpio, but yeah, you're Scorpio. I'm going to reiterate, there might be something with a Pisces or a Scorpio trying to come in for you, trying to connect with you. There's something about muffled communication. You're getting mixed signs or I take that back. It's not mixed signs or mixed signals. It's miscommunication. It's like clouded energy. I think this message keeps coming up for the signs too. It's like trying to have a conversation with someone underwater. Like you can try and read their lips, but like there's bubbles coming out and you can't quite make out what they're saying. So it's almost like you have to go on what your heart is telling you. You have to go on your instincts. You have to go off of body language. You have to go off of, again, like, are we vibing? It's like, it's so much, that's what this is too. Like, I lost the damn card, but you can't hear what this person is saying, or it's not translating well verbally. So there's something about, what about the emotions? What are the emotions being felt? Because that's going to be your guiding compass, so to say. Very interesting. Very interesting. Some of you being in or around near bodies of water, lakes, oceans, rivers, streams, whatever. Is that, I feel like I just quoted a song, but I'm not sure what that is. Anyway, being around bodies of water would be very healing for you right now. Spending time in the sauna, in the jacuzzi, in the bathtub, in the, fill in the blank. I mean, some of you may even be doing one of those like penguin dives, right? Where the water's like super cold, or I don't know. I don't know anything about that. But anyway, spending time in water is going to be very healing and cathartic. And I mean, of course it is. That's your natural element. You're a water sign. So it's like, do the water sign stuff. That's what all this is. This whole like, don't do the Mercury, do the intuition, do the feeling, do the, like that sort of spiritual energy. That is of use to you right now. So to take advantage of it, because the financial, earthy reality stuff, they're going to play out the way they're supposed to. But like, you have to come into your strength when I'm hearing like when it's available to you. What does Scorpio need to release? Your judgment of a situation. Again, it's like that Mercury stuff is tripping you up. You're overthinking something. Some of you may need to get out of a contract, or get out of a lease, or get out of some agreement so that you can go off on your own and be a little bit rogue, be a little bit rebellious, take some time to do you, get out into the woods and connect with nature again. I would caution you to sign a major agreement right now. It's not to say you never can, but there's something about, I'm just gonna be honest, I don't do fear-based readings, but I have to read into what the cards say, right? And this is perilous realm, danger lurks, treacherous path, ominous shadows. Make sure you know who you're getting sorry. Make sure you know who you're getting into business with, in a deal with. And I literally just heard, make sure you know who you're getting into bed with. Scorpio, of all my signs. There's something about, again, this false presentation and the stripping off of the clothing for some of you, but also the mask. It's like when the mask drops and you're seeing the authenticity, that's what's real and you can feel it. But some of you, and I mean this metaphorically, but it's like you're getting into bed with someone who it's like you're not seeing the reality of what's really there. Again, there's like either peacocking and putting on a show, or not presenting as their truest self. And if it doesn't have to do with a romantic sexual connection, it has to do, again, with like a business partnership or an agreement. I can't leave you with that. Can I have one more on that? Like, let's give Scorpio as much clarity as we can. But the thing is, I think you already know this is what you're being asked to move away from, so it's not helpful to you anymore. Some of you need to cut something off with an earth sign. It's just like, it's not growing anymore. It's gone stale. It's gone stagnant. Yeah, you need to like freshen up the water. Go towards your Pisces. I like interesting. As I say that, and then look, you have the Pisces Scorpio stuff keeps coming up for you in pairs. So you're a Scorpio, right? In theory, you're watching this, you have some Scorpio placements. There's Piscean energy that's going to be very beneficial and healing to you right now. And if you are strongly associate with Pisces, then there's someone who has strong Scorpio in their chart. This is lovely energy. It's like medicine. It's very healing. There's something. Again, it's like there's something too restrictive or restraining about going by the book and making every decision solely based on, I hate to use the word logic, but I am kind of wanting to say that. Like the earthy energy of, I'm all about being present and living in the now and taking assessment of living in the reality and the truth of what we see before us. But I think sometimes when we do that, we shut off the possibilities of something that could be. And so we're very apt to not explore something when a new doorway has opened up and the universe is like, here's the key, would you like to open it? But it takes a little effort on your part. It takes that decision to be like, you know what, I feel like I should, so I'm going to. Universe is, God, source, spirit, they're giving you a choice. Like you do have the power position here, but there's either distraction or overthinking. Yeah, and so, okay. I don't know how to relay this other than like you have to try and do your best to, I get that you have to go to the hidden depths and like you have to go down. That's what water does, right? It goes down and it sinks into the earth. And that's especially true for Scorpio. You're a sign associated with going deep and depths and all that. But with that, at what point do you need to come back for oxygen? Like, at what point are you hurting yourself by staying too long in the negative emotion and the felt experiences that aren't necessarily changing and shifting? Maybe you do need to change or shift something in your own life or your own environment so that you're not shooting yourself in the foot. It's like you got to come back up for air. You got to be in the sunlight. You have to be with people. So it's a balance, you know. I think that can be exhausting for water signs to be around people all day, but at the same time, like when you isolate, that's not good for you either. That feels very like Five of Cups, Mars and Scorpio, like heavy weighted energy, negativity, where it's like, you know, we're cloaked in our black robe and then, you know, we've married ourselves to the fate of loneliness and depression. Like, and I don't mean to make light of it, but there is something about like you have to come up from the dampness, you have to come up from the dark and like touch base with reality, the earthy stuff. You know, like anything, it's about balance. It's about balance. So the winding path, I think Leo had a very similar card in the same position. Again, taking the road less traveled, being open to wonderful surprises along the path that maybe suggest that you need to reorient or check in with your navigation system, or I don't even know what I'm saying again. Here we go. What am I trying to say here? It has to do with being open to new doors being opened for you, or being presented with new options that maybe you didn't plan on and you didn't see coming. But I think there's a certain amount of fear in exploring what is unknown to you. And the universe is saying, are you sure though? Because this could be really good. Again, it's like moving away from judgments or drawing conclusions about things when you just don't know. You just don't know. So it might be worth your time to, again, explore them. You know, maybe it is doing a little research. Maybe it is doing a little fact finding, but not if that throws you off course and gets you stuck in your head. Some of you may be trying out some sort of, and again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not promoting this per se. It's just a message. Some of you may be trying out anxiety medication. That might be in line for some of you. And again, I have no opinion on that. It's just a confirmation for one or two of you. Yeah, this is coming out from the cold and realizing that there's partnership coming into your life that you may have rejected, possibly, Scorpio, and you may revisit this. At bare minimum, the Five of Pentacles says, are you advocating for yourself and what you need to survive? So who does that conversation need to be directed to? Does that need to be directed to a boss, a child, a parent, a girlfriend, a boyfriend, whatever, right? Also, it's a Mercury card too, so it's saying you don't have to, that's what it is, thank you. Okay, I'm finally getting this. Where's our Mercury, Gemini, Virgo stuff? It's not that we're moving away from the Mercury, it's that we're moving away from the Mercury that we're doing independently. There's a conversation. So it's not just this like, my head is thinking 1,000 things, but it's not being relayed to anyone, or it's not being written in a journal. It's just existing in me and it's stirring up chaos. This is like expression of the Mercury. It's getting it up and out so that we can look at it and be solution oriented, if that makes sense. The Five of Pentacles says you don't have to go at this alone. You have multiple people supporting you. That with the Fool, it's like there's going to be a weight lifted, but you have to trust that this path is being revealed to you for a very specific reason. You have to have faith. Again, Aquarian energy. There's something unique and different about an opportunity that's trying to come into you. But it's almost like you've already written it off because you see it being a failure, and so you're not even trying it. Well, don't do that, Scorpio. Like, easy for you to say. All right, here we go. Conclusions are reached within full moon eclipse. Yeah, so I think that's interesting because we were just saying, right, conclusions reached within. Some of you, it's like you have reached a culminating stage of a chapter where it was very self-reliant. Everything that came to you came because of your hard work and energy and efforts and blood, sweat, and tears, all those things. For a lot of you, this is the opening of a door or the start of a new chapter, going down a new path where there's someone with you, only you may look at them as an enemy or someone who isn't going to be of assistance or help to you, and the universe is saying, you have it wrong. You have it wrong. This person may come to your aid. This person may come to your rescue. This person may be a healer of some kind. Something about yellow shoes. I don't know what that is. Yellow shoes. Okay. And then let's see. A fiery climax approaches, full moon in Aries. Again, this idea of fulfillment, completion with that Mars energy, like you, Scorpio. Aries energy of going at it independent. I don't rely on anybody but myself. It's like with the, in the last spread, you had the Venus energy right in the middle. And this is trying to get you to connect in relationships in some capacity. And then don't let pride get in your way, the full moon in Leo. Holy Lord, you're experiencing a lot of emotions. You have 3 cards indicating full moons. Fire energy, though. So what excites you? What lights your fire? What are you passionate about? Who or what makes you feel inspired and enthusiastic and energized? Go, my child. That's what I want to say to you. Also, something symbolic about mushrooms. That could be a keychain or a tattoo or something you have in your house, your apartment, a poster you have, some little totem somebody gave you. That could even be a pet name or a nickname or something you call your dog or your car or something about mushroom. I don't know what that is. But anyway, that's what I got for y'all. Thanks for joining me today, Scorpio. I appreciate you being here. Please show me some love and hit the like button. You know I gotta ask you to. I would greatly appreciate it if you could even leave me a comment or an emoji. Anything like that will help this reading find a greater audience on YouTube. It helps my channel grow. It's winning all around. If you're not already, I invite you to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so you're alerted when I post tarot readings. And if you want more content, find me on Instagram or Facebook. Thanks for tuning in today. I'm the Intuitive Teacup, and I will see you soon for more tarot. Bye, Scorpio.